Tonight on the Chillstream, Bitcoin crashes again. Children in Canada prove that they're probably smarter than you, and mimetic warfare intensifies. All of that and so much more coming up in 2 minutes. And we are live. We're back. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Monday Night Chill Stream. It is, as the first commenter in the chat has noted, Eagle Pack Sigil, that it is Greek Independence Day. It is on this day, March 25th, in 1821, when the modern Greek state was birthed. And the war to remove the Ottomans from mainland Greece began and actually ended about 10 years later. But thank you for the thought, Eagle Pack Sigil. It is very kind of you to think of that. Man, is there tons of stuff going on. There is 2024, and I've said earlier that the Roaring 20s, we're right in the middle of the Roaring 20s. There's so much going on. It's only going to get so much better in terms of insane spectacles and in terms of things to talk about. I have so much, like, I just got to, every week is like, oh, what the fuck do I, like, what do I leave in? What do I leave out? The title of tonight's show, by the way, the Samurai Class, American Gatsos, Gatsos Americanos. Gatsos is a term I read way back in the day when I was reading Robert Heinlein novels. And I guess it was kind of a hipster slang term for Gestapo, right? To refer to the secret police of the evil Nazi empire. However, the samurai class as a internet term is oftentimes used in New Jersey Second Amendment circles to refer to the police agents of the state of New Jersey, whom prior to Nicephor versus Bruin were considered like samurai, like the only ones legally allowed to carry weapons. So the samurai class has got more than a few headaches, and we consider that, we here at the Monday Night Chill Stream consider that a good thing. Virgil Doc, Purple Heart, welcome to the show, sir. So there's tons and tons and tons of stuff to talk about, but I suppose we can start with that. We can start with with the as the uh, title of tonight's show implies, the samurai class have a real fucking problem. This story is only a couple of days old. What is it, from March 19th? So a judge rules illegal immigrants have gun rights protected by the Second Amendment. This is a federal judge appointed by Barack Obama. It's a black female. And there was a dude with a Spanish name. I don't know where he's from, Mexico, Guatemala, whatever. Got arrested in Illinois, somewhere around Chicago. He had a pistol on him. The local cops kicked it up to the federal level, and this guy was arrested and convicted of federal firearms violations. Well, he appealed his conviction to no end. The very same judge said, no, your conviction stands. But after 2022 and the NYSERPA versus Bruin Supreme Court decision stating that American citizens have the right to carry firearms concealed, effectively making all of the United States, or every state within the United States, a shall issue state. In light of this judge decided that even though this gentleman was not a citizen of the United States, he was not what's called a federally prohibited person. So he had no prior felony convictions. He had not been adjudicated mentally unfit. And so the judge vacated his conviction and ruled that his constitutional rights were violated. Now, this is an illegal immigrant, a migrant, whatever. And if you're thoughtful, if you understand the way America really works and the power structure behind this is maybe the most delicious fucking popcorn eating fucking moment of I don't know how many moments. The southern border is wide open because they want to flood America with non-American immigrants to overturn the Constitution, to do what it is they want to do. They want to burn the Constitution, and they figure if they could bring enough brown people in here who really just wants a quick handout, a quick payout of Gibbs be dat, that they will cheerfully vote in overwhelming numbers to burn the Constitution and Heritage America. Those of us who've been here longer than 10 fucking minutes will be overwhelmed, and they will democratically decide to burn the Constitution and start all over again. So this is why these brown people from everywhere are being allowed to cross the Rio Grande into the United States and given plane tickets and sent all over the place, sent to every district, every congressional district, every postal code. That's why they're doing this. And it's not the first time they've done it. I'll get to that, more on that in a moment. But in the modern political dilemma is particularly Spanish-speaking individuals, who are the largest minority demographic in America, right? The elites want their votes. Okay, they need them. They need them for political legitimacy. Well, if they overturn this judge, right, this federal judge, I can't remember what the name is. I think it was like Carol Brown or something like that. If they say, no, 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 Spanish people, you do not have constitutional rights. You don't have the right to keep and bear arms. Then they just alienated the entire Spanish community, all of them, everyone from everywhere. So they lose those votes. They can't afford to lose those votes. They need those votes for legitimacy. If they let this stand, if it stands that everyone, even without a permission slip from the state of Illinois, can carry a concealed firearm, this creates an enormous problem for the samurai class, for the state policy agents, the police, the federal enforcers, the state enforcers, the municipal level enforcers. This creates an enormous fucking problem. They can't charge you with illegal gun possession anymore. Essentially, this federal judge interpreted Bruin, NYSERPA versus Bruin, the Supreme Court decision from 2022, to mean that you don't need a permit. Anybody, anytime, anywhere can carry constitutional. Constitutional carry is a term in the Second Amendment community meaning you can carry without a permit slip from the state. And there are, as of now, I think about 26 or 28 states that have constitutional carry. I think Louisiana is just about to be like the 29th or 30th or something like that. But it doesn't matter. The point is, there is a legal decision that directly quotes the Supreme Court decision of 2 years ago, saying that anybody anywhere has, as long as you're not a felon or mentally ill, has the right to carry firearms. This is a little bit of a problem because, as I showed last week, where's my boys from Chicago? This is the video I showed from last week. In Chicago, in Illinois itself, the spear chuckers not so happy.
Now, I've said this before. If you give me 3 meals, housing, child care, education, a voucher for $9,000, you know what? I come to Chicago too. And that's what they're doing. They're telling people, and they're sending money back to back to Venezuela, to come to Chicago because they're saying, hey, the good times are rolling there. They're taking care of everybody. Now, when we have Venezuelans that are driving cars, where did they get a driver's license? Where did they get insurance from? And then you have Venezuelans being caught with drugs and guns. Where are they getting them from?
Drugs and guns, you mean that legalized marijuana that you guys have been pushing for decades? So, again, I show that, which is a video I showed last week, to illustrate the problem that the ruling class in America has. How do you sort this out? The brown people hate the black people, and they're going to kill each other. And a black judge just said the brown people have the right to fucking carry guns. This is, and everyone's and marijuana is legal everywhere. Oh man, this is a recipe for just get a big old bowl of popcorn and just enjoy. Watch the state desperately try to control this and keep a lid on this. It absolutely will not work. And this is good. This is good for us, at least freedom people. But you have to be smart. You have to understand. Wait a minute, where was my other? I forgot that one. I forgot one thing. Or did I already delete it? I think I already deleted it. No, there. Understand that at a local level, this is going to be a problem, right? There's all sorts of problems, and the state agents trying to exert control are failing. This is from my favorite newspaper ever, the New York Post. The black dude in the picture there is Eric Adams, the former New York City police officer who became a state senator. When he was a cop, they had him head this bullshit organization called 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement. And they were like, we're not anti-cop, we're just anti-bad cop. And of course, he was all anti-cop. And he used to brag about how he used to beat down white suspects all the time, or white arrestees. But all the problems in New York City are only getting worse. And this meme we're all familiar with, it's the little dog sitting in the cafe, and the entire cafe is on fire. And the little dog says, this is fine. So mimetic warfare, right? Proper mimetic warfare has reached the New York Post. So communication in the next 5-10 years is going to be so radically different from what it used to be. I just don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but I have some ideas on where it's going to go. But the real world is a bad, scary, dangerous place. You have to understand that the real world is a bad, scary, dangerous place. A lot of people have said that real estate is a safe investment. Well, actually, no, it's not. This is a story, again, out of New York City. A couple of squatters took over this woman's house, or a house this woman had invested in. You can see her there. She's a pretty enough woman, middle-aged, with a little doggy, her little toilet brush dog. She went to the home to tell them, well, this is illegal. I own this house, and you can't be here. So they killed her, stuffed her body in a duffel bag, stole her car, and then in a car chase, they ended up crashing the car a couple of states away in Pennsylvania. Real estate doesn't have the value you think it has, and valuable residential real estate may or may not be taken over by squatters. And squatters don't give a fuck if they kill you, right? They'll kill you, they'll kill your little dog, and they'll steal your car, and they'll fly back to fucking Kansas. That problem is going to be made worse and worse and worse. I'm not saying every squatter is a murderer, but if you paid your entire life savings into an investment home or investment property, or just a house you're going from, the kids have left for college, and you and the hubby or you and the waifu are going to move into a smaller house, and squatters take it over. What are you going to do about it, right? And this is going to be a real problem for middle class and upper middle class people. Although it won't be a problem for very long, because I don't think, to be perfectly honest, that that there's going to be as much middle class as people think. Where's my man? Oh, I didn't have. Oh, fucking. Sometimes fucking stupid StreamYard will not upload the shit I wanted to fucking upload. He keeps saying, "Oh, try again," and then I have to log out and log back in, and it doesn't come. It doesn't come to where I want. Blah 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 blah. Oh, you fuck. God damn it. Okay. I had a video with Mark Cuban. If you don't know who Mark Cuban is, he owns a sports ball team. He's a member of the Tribe. He made a shit ton of money back during the 90s, during the dot-com boom, and he got out before the bubble burst, and that's when he bought the sports ball team. It's basketball. I don't know which team he owns, and he runs his mouth all the time. He used to run his mouth against Trump, and then he hated Bitcoin. Now he loves Bitcoin, and I don't know what the fuck this and that. But he was talking about AI replacing white collar jobs, and I've mentioned that last week. And it's going to happen. White collar jobs, finance jobs, tax fucking prep people. A lot of white collar jobs are just going away, and that AI is just going to destroy them. On the other end, lack of profitability is going to do this. This is the state interfering in commerce, but and the ripple effect is going to be pretty big, really, if you think about it.
Fast food worker layoffs are spreading, with California Pizza Hut operators laying off all their delivery drivers in response to a new law that raises the minimum wage for fast food workers in California to $20 an hour. This new minimum wage for fast food workers in California is causing fast food operators and franchise owners to revolt, with McDonald's, Chipotle, and Jack in the Box among the restaurants that are now going to increase their prices due to the California minimum wage law. And what you have to understand, everyone, is that these fast food franchise owners actually don't make a ton of income. For instance, the average Pizza Hut in America does about $1 million in gross sales. However, after paying all their expenses and royalty fees, these franchise owners only get about $91,000 in income, or a 9% profit margin. So significantly increasing labor costs through a higher minimum wage is obviously going to result in higher menu prices and fast food worker layoffs.
So you got to go pick up your own fucking pizza from the fast food joint. So what? What's the big deal? Well, that's going to increase your carbon footprint, and you might not live in the best neighborhood. So there's all sorts of problems coming down the line. You should go, well, that's just California. But as California goes, so goes the nation. It's oftentimes a test bed for the shit that the rest of us will eventually have to live with. And here, of course, I have to mention that Bitcoin crash. Bitcoin was, what did we hit, 73,000 and change, 73,700, something like that. And then we crashed. Oh my God, Bitcoin crashed. We crashed down to like 60,000. And right before I hit the go live button, I think we were back to 70,000. So we dropped, I don't know what percentage, 14% for a week. and now we're back. So, and this, by the way, by Bitcoin terms, is fucking nothing. Bitcoin used to go from 1,000 to 200 and stay there for 4 months before climbing out of that fucking hole slowly. So this has been a drawdown for ants. But if you think correctly, if you have the proper understanding of the world, even if you flip burgers and you're a Bitcoiner, things could work out for you. Got a clip from the one and only St. Michael Saylor.
But this is a 10, 15-year head start. I had this analogy, it's like you could be working at a McDonald's, you could be working for $10 an hour, right? But if you're sweeping the $10 an hour in an asset that goes up by a factor of 100, you're getting paid $1,000 an hour. Okay, so how long do you want to work at $1,000 an hour? You want to work at $1,000 an hour as long as you possibly can, because once people figure it out, then you go back to your $10 an hour job. So we're in the gold rush period. People are, when they think about it, they're going to realize this is the period during which everybody in the world started to realize Bitcoin is digital capital, and there's a digital transformation of money, and that you want to hop on top of that. You want to exploit that, and there's 1,000 ways to do it. Maybe it's just work really hard at your job and buy Bitcoin. Maybe it's start a company. Maybe it's do something different. You decide.
So even if you work at McDonald's, if you Bitcoin, you have the possibility of dramatically increasing your material wealth in a form that is unique. You know, I've shown Michael Saylor how many fucking times, and I'll probably show him how many more times. You know, he pointed out that he bought a house in Miami Beach that was $100,000 in 1930. He bought it for $14 million in 2012, and now it's worth $50 million. The problem is with real estate, aside from the fact that you may get killed and stuffed into a duffel bag by squatters, aside from that problem, a lot of people don't have money to buy desirable real estate, like Miami Beach real estate or New York real estate or downtown Chicago or whatever. And you can't buy it piece by piece. You can't buy 1 square foot of Miami Beach. You can't buy 1 brick of the Sears Tower. You can't buy, like, you just can't, right? But what you can do is you can buy $10 worth of Bitcoin. And when Michael Saylor's giant stack of Bitcoin goes up 5%, your little stack of Bitcoin goes up 5% at the same time, the exact same amount. That is what's so unique. And that's why a kid flipping burgers at McDonald's can, if he consistently over time takes that $10 an hour job and takes that $10 and moves it into something that has the potential to rise 1,000%, and Bitcoin has that potential and more. I've shown that 100 times. Then you're going to be in better shape, right? And you don't want, not only are you going to be in better shape materially, but your wealth is in a form that squatters cannot take from you, that the state cannot tax away from you or inflate. And if you think that that's a small thing, you fundamentally fail to understand that the world works by power taking what it wants. Okay, and here's an example. This is that guy. It's a New York guy. He used to be a real lefty dude. Guy's name is Jimmy Dory. Yeah, I think he was a comedian, and now he's like just a polemicist or whatever. But he did this. He did a video compilation of, our greatest ally, basically dictating what the fuck we should do with our lives.
Watch this. This is a compilation of Benjamin Netanyahu warmongering. Watch this.
If you take away the Soviet Union and its chief proxy, the PLO, international terrorism would collapse.
If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region. Obviously, we like to see a regime change, at least I would, in Iran, just as I would like to see in Iraq. The question now is a practical question. It's not a question of whether Iraq's regime should be taken out, but when should it be taken out? It's not a question of whether you'd like to see a regime change in Iran, but how do it...
Are there any other nations that you would recommend that the United States launch preemptive attacks upon at this point?
The answer is categorically yes, is Iraq and Iran. But a third nation, by the way, is Libya as well. Libya is trying very rapidly.
What a surprise, huh, Guy? It's not a question of what's going to happen. I've already decided what's going to happen. It's for you to go send your sons to fucking die in the desert because I said so. Because I said so. Now, here's the thing. Some people have noticed this, and they don't like it. Now, they haven't noticed it in the way I've noticed it, the way some of this audience has noticed it. But there's this chick. I don't know who this chick is. This is like a 90-second clip. Not sure who this chick is, but she's a pretty articulate woman, and she's both pretty and articulate, and she just ended her career with this right here.
AIPAC is evil. AIPAC is evil. Evil. My fellow Americans, are you okay with that? Are you okay with a lobbying group representing the best interests of a foreign government telling you you need to bust your ass every day, work a job that you likely hate, and have a portion of your earnings taken from you by our federal government and funneled to the Israeli government so they can commit atrocities in the Gaza Strip? Are you okay with that? Because I'm not okay with that. And nothing gets under my skin more, okay, than hearing these pieces of crap say things that make it clear that they feel entitled to our money. Entitled. That gets under my skin more than you guys understand, okay?
That's an impassioned response, and what she's referring to there are some leaked documents from an AIPAC meeting. AIPAC, of course, alongside Big Pharma, is one of the biggest lobbying organizations in the United States. They lobby our congressmen, and I'm certain that that includes journalists, because we have a budget like AIPAC. Why wouldn't you be lobbying journalists as well to essentially always fight to have pro-Israel narratives? And again, I want to be clear, I am not anti-Israel. This is what is so wild about all of this. I'm just not anti-Palestinian. And so I hear what she is saying, and I believe that what is happening right now in this country politically is...
Whoops. Okay, so I don't know who that blonde chick is, but when I tell you she just ended her career, she really just ended her career, and that's Candace Owens at the end. And Candace Owens going, "I want to make it clear, I'm not anti-Israel." Well, honey, if you consider yourself an American, and she's like this conservative, black conservative America, whatever the fuck she's portrayed as, if what Blondie girl, they are entitled to our money and our labor. You have to work like a fucking dog at a job you hate to give money to people who are committing genocide in the Middle East. If that doesn't make you anti-Israel, what's it going to take? What's the threshold? What is it they have to do? Like, at what point do you go, all right, too far, that's anti-Israel? You know what? I went from here to there. I went from not quite anti-Israel to what do they have to do? They're bombing civilians, women and children. They're just fucking killing them by fucking hundreds and by thousands, right? And that's not quite enough. And they're doing it with our tax dollars, American tax dollars. When I tell you Bitcoin was designed to end central banking, I'm not joking. There's tons of evidence. If you do a deep dive on this, that's why Bitcoin was created. Central banking is the fifth plank of the Communist Manifesto. And as Karl Marx explicitly stated, world communism depends on the ability of the central bank to issue fiat currency and control all credit and monies. That Bitcoin is a separate system out of their control, and the best hope to shut all this shit down should be obvious to fucking anybody, but it's not necessarily obvious to this audience. Although I started thinking that maybe I got like 64 subscribers. I'm wondering if fucking 50 subscribers aren't bots. That's occurred to me that maybe I really only have like 14 subscribers. That could be, I want to, I let that thought sit in my head. But lots of different people are noticing a lot of different things. Here's a young kid. I just saw this 59-second video. Well, you know what? But let's go. Let's stay with Candace Owens. Let's stay with Candace, the Shabos Owens. I got like 90 more seconds.
Because what it registers to me as is power. Real power hiding behind a veneer of victimhood, the kind of power that can take somebody out and end their entire career if that person says something that they don't like. And in this case, it's not that I'm saying things that they don't like, it's that I'm refusing to allow my voice to be controlled. I want to be clear to you guys. I'm going to be honest with you because everybody's noticing it. Every single political commentator in America, every single one of them knows this, that if you do not step out and say things that are radically pro-Israel, or if you are too quiet on certain narratives and they want you to be radically pro-Israel, you can lose everything. That's truth. That is a fact. I'm not feeling like I need to hide from that anymore or be afraid to say it, rather, is a better way to say it, because I've endured this for years. I'm just at the end of my rope. I have given so much rope here and I am just done with it. Every person that you are a fan of, they know this. Every person that you line up to go here speak, they know this. Again, it's not even on the basis of what you say. It can sometimes be on the basis of what you don't say. That an entire mob will assemble. They'll write piece after piece after piece until you subjugate. If you don't subjugate, the bounty grows larger. So yes, there was a large bounty on my head for the crime of refusing to suddenly hate Muslims and to condone Muslims getting bombed following October 7th. Everybody can see that. I have said.
Okay, so now Candace is done. She's known for a number of years. She knows that everyone else knows, but she's done. She's decided that, I don't know what she's going to do. Maybe hopefully she's got a rich boyfriend who wants to marry her, and she can have a nice family with them. But she's done. She's done. She's finished. And kudos to her for finally coming to that conclusion, because way too many people, just for material wealth, will continue licking the boots, And as she said, it's not dissimilar to the famous story of Stalin gives a speech and everyone's giving a standing ovation to his speech, and whatever was the second or third speech after he took over, and some really ancient fucking Communist Party member, an old guy with a heart condition, stopped clapping first. His name went on the fucking list to get killed. And the admonition, never be the first one to stop applauding, right? Shows you the how dark and murderous the Soviet regime was, right? Never be the first one to stop applauding. And Candace Owens, to her credit, has said, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not applauding anymore. You know what I mean? I'm not going to promote their narratives. It isn't even being anti-Israel. It's just not promoting their narratives. They're always going to ask from you more and more and more and more and more and more and fucking more. A lot of you are going to be familiar with this guy. Everyone knows this name, Ben Shapiro. No one should be retiring at 65. Ben Shapiro says Social Security was not designed to provide retirement benefits for 20 plus years, and those who expect that are crazy. This is from a guy who has never worked a day in his fucking life. Ben Shapiro, this midget Jew cocksucker, has never worked one day in his life. But he's telling you what Nikki Haley, Nimrata, whatever the fuck her name was, said. I showed this a couple of months ago. We have to rethink the retirement age. Yeah, we have to rethink the retirement age, because you're going to work until you fucking die, goy. You were born to be our slave, goy, and you will never, ever have one day's fucking rest. you will produce more value than we can extract, than we have to pay you for, I should say. You will produce more value than we have to pay you for, or fucking else. This from a fucking midgety little 5'3" Jew who never worked a fucking day in his life. It's not just Nikki Haley. This is their worldview. And you know what? Listen to me. Listen to this. Bitcoin fixes this. Bitcoin fixes this because you store your wealth, the value of your life's work, outside of the economic system that they designed and they control. That's why this is so radical. This is way beyond your stupid fascism versus communism or any other gay fucking shit you fucking think. When you store your wealth in a form that they literally cannot steal, they can't reach it. They can never get it. Every fucking Satoshi of Bitcoin that you buy and hold yourself, they never get. Never, ever, ever. You deny them that forever. If that isn't enough motivation for you, then I don't know what is, right? If you understand their rapacious, fucking unquenchable desire for everything to come to them and nothing to go back to you, if you don't understand that the way to shut that off forever is Bitcoin, then why are you here? What are you doing here? Right? Go wait for your fucking savior. Go wait for fucking whoever you fucking think is gonna come save you. But the answer is you have to save yourself, right? The answer is you have to save yourself. Now here's a kid, I want to show this, who frames the same sort of issue. It's a related issue, frames things in a similar way, right? Here's a kid who's knows a thing or two about history and knows a thing or two about synonyms.
They're always like, oh, but Israel is surrounded on all sides by enemies. And it's like, do you know who else was surrounded on all sides by enemies? These guys. Yeah, it turns out when your state is founded by genocidal ethno-nationalists stealing land that isn't theirs, your neighbors tend to not like you very much. Shocking. Like, Zionists always try to frame the central conflict in the Middle East as, oh, these Arab states refuse to recognize Israel's right to exist, which is, like, technically accurate, just like it's technically accurate to frame the central conflict of World War II as the Allied nations refused to recognize the Third Reich's right to exist. In both cases, for very good reason, because both the Third Reich and Israel were founded by genocidal ethno-nationalists stealing land that wasn't theirs because they felt they had an ancestral historical claim to it. Oh, but the Arab states are the ones that declared war on Israel, so technically they started the conflict. France and the UK are the ones that declared war on Germany, so by your logic, Hitler is the victim. Which is logic that only makes sense if you frame violently stealing people's land as a neutral action that everyone else should be fine with.
Wow, what a smart kid, huh? That kid's fucking has the ability to understand how elites frame the actions they want you to take, right? And that they're going to take credit for. So this is just the way it is. And if you think, oh, Israel isn't really settler colonialism, stand by, kids, stand by, because if it's not for me, if it wasn't for me doing legitimate I do anti-Semitisms, I do racisms, and I do what else do I do? I do homophobias, and I do whatever misogynies. This is why you show up every week. But let's stick with our bread and butter. Let's stick with our bread and butter. Let's stick with the anti-Semitisms. Here's this one fucking makes me want to punch my fucking phone and throw it on the highway. But this is 2024. Welcome to it.
Love the Gaza Strip. We can't just take a whole strip of land and say Israelis can't live there. That doesn't make sense. This is our sovereign state.
Would you live there?
Of course.
By the beach?
Oh, for sure. Yes, my husband's also talking about building. He has a yeshiva, Talmudic Institute here, so building a branch in Gaza. We have lists already of about 500 families that are willing, on the drop of a hat, to just move into. We have North, Central, and South Gaza, and people are going to start building towns. We have names of the towns. We have where we're building them. It's already being planned, and we have people signed up. You can't leave it without Jews in the Gaza Strip. It's too big a piece of land. It's too important for us to let it become Hamas town, as we call it, full of terrorists.
Change the narrative, right? They forced all the Palestinians into that land decades ago, said you can't leave. Now they're killing them, right? Or you could leave. You could leave by fucking leaving this earth after we bomb you. And then we're going to take this and we're going to make a beautiful, beautiful beachfront property. Oh, yeah, and by the way, there may or may not be a large natural gas field off the coast of Gaza that Israel can sell to other fucking people. And they're definitely going to try to sell it to other people. They're not going to use it to enrich their own population or the population of whoever fucking lives after they're done with this genocide. And as you could hear in plain English, that is 100% East Coast New York Jew saying, oh, it's too important. We can't leave it to them. You forced them in there. You made a prison camp out of that, out of the West Bank and Gaza. And now you're going to bomb the prison camp until enough people are dead so that you can shrink the size of the prison camp and steal the best parts, the beachfront property and the access to the fucking whatever natural gas they have or whatever. I think it's natural gas off the coast of Gaza. So they say. So they say. And how is all this done? Well, there's a little girl. There's an iced Negro. That's what you call Canadians. By the way, you call Canadians iced Negroes. I don't know if, what's his name? Walrus Libertarian still watches this channel. But this is, whoever this girl is, this is definitely not Walrus Libertarian's daughter. But this girl, I promise you, is a Bitcoiner.
Have you ever wondered why the bankers from the largest private banks are becoming wealthier and the rest of us are not? What I have discovered is the banks and the government have colluded to financially enslave the people of Canada. The government borrows money from the private banks. They then lend the debt-based money to Canada with compounded interest. The government then continues to increase taxation of Canadians year after year in order to pay back the interest on the exponentially growing national debt. What results is inflation. The government gave the banks the ability to loan out money that doesn't exist in the form of loans. They click a key on a computer and generate the fake money out of thin air. They don't actually have it in their bank vaults. Margaret Mead said the following, and I hope that all of you remember this. Never doubt that a small group of people can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has.
Never doubt that a small number of people can change the world. Am I right?
We print it digitally, so.
Well, J Powell just agreed with me. That's fucking amazing. So they're printing. And I said mimetic warfare earlier. It's not just a static photo of Eric Adams as the little dog in the Flaming Cafe. But we have this. Like I said, we have all the fucking memes. We have all the fucking memes. We have all the energy, all the power, all the thought. We have all of it. And you no coiners, have none of it. Check this out. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. As much fucking money as they print, Bitcoin will fucking eat. That is a reality. And you, if you were as smart as that 12-year-old girl in Canada. She's like the anti-Greta Thunberg. I don't know what her name is, but again, you know, when she turns 18, I guarantee the fucking prospective grooms will be fucking lined up in the snow outside whatever fucking wooden hut she lives in. So, all right, let's bring this down from this huge macro and super intellectual fucking cerebral things. People may think that, like, holy crap, you know, I see a few James is the only one legitimately doing anti-Semitisms on on the internet. What if something happens to him? Nothing's really going to happen to me. Nothing happened to me. The biggest threat, I've said this in the past, the biggest threat to me, to my personal physical safety, is lunatics on the fucking on the highways, on the roads. Saw a bunch of them this weekend. I had to drive first Saturday. I got a call. Saturday afternoon, I got a call. Listen, I got to drive to Virginia, but we got a piece that has to go to tender out of LaGuardia for Saturday here in the East Coast with super heavy rain. So I had to go out and like fucking pissing down, pick up 2 jobs, drive into Queens, go through the process of sending one out on Southwest, and then drive down to Virginia, which is what I did. The reason why is because the previous week, I don't know if I said this, I made like $600 in the entire week. And that day, this Saturday just passed, I was going to make $550. Like I was going to make almost as much in one day as I made the prior week because my income goes. So I did that Saturday, and then Sunday, yesterday, I drove to Boston. So I actually made more money in the last 2 days than I made in the prior 6. But it isn't just, it's not like, oh, look, people are just throwing bags of money into my car. That's not how shit works. There are legitimate threats and dangers to me, and they are not. It's not the alphabet agencies. It's not the Zoroastrians. It's not whatever gay ninjas from outer space. This is the actual. I got a 13-second video. This is the realest threat to my physical safety that there is. That, by the way, is the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. Oftentimes, when I lived on Staten Island, we referred to it as the Guinea Gangplank, where all the Italians ran from Brooklyn to Staten Island. We called it the Guinea Gangplank. But you see that, like, what is it, a 6 fucking car accident? Somebody doing the high speed, Fast and Furious shit, banged off a fucking how many cars, and that's a great, well lit video. And it happens all the time. And I saw something like that Saturday when I was on my way down to Virginia. I saw something like that, like just as soon as I entered Delaware. They stopped the entire fucking highway, 95 north, all 3 lanes shut off, everyone being pushed into some God knows what little town in fucking Delaware, because there were a number of cars. I don't remember. Didn't count them, but there's a number of fucking cars all like that. Some this way, some that way, some facing the wrong way. Glass, plastic, every fucking where. People standing around scratching their heads. What fucking happened? Fire trucks, ambulances, cops, blah, 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 blah. That random, that's relatively random. It's not really random. Those accidents, some fucking retard kid in a fucking souped up Honda who's smoking fucking legal marijuana and watching porn on his phone at 120 miles an hour is the greatest threat to my physical safety. And it is sort of random. I don't have control over this, and it's hard for me to manage, impossible for me to manage really. But you need to understand what what the problems in your life are for real and what you can do about them and what are just fucking imaginary. And that is the absolute greatest skill, because Candace Owens is going to be replaced by somebody else, some AI generated black chick, you know what I mean, who appeals to conservatives, but also appeals to the fucking 9 black people who vote Republican or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, all of these influencers, all of the shabos in front of a camera are going to be replaced by AI, right? Yes, the porn stars will be replaced by AI. Yes, the movie stars will be replaced by AI. But the influencers will be replaced by AI. And you need to cut that out. Like, you know, when I tell you stop looking for saviors, for leaders, for fucking heroes to come and rescue you. It's an important lesson to learn, and you should decide to rescue yourself and those you care about. And if for nothing else, Judas Fly Chai, where the fuck have you been? Shalom. Shalom, my friend. Shalom from your home. I don't know where the fuck you've been. Like 6 weeks you haven't shown up here. What have you been doing? You've been invading the fucking Gaza Strip or something like that? You've been fucking supporting the IDF, giving them fucking candy and muffins after they fucking turned fucking Palestinian babies into pink mist? You have to answer, sir, for your absence. But at any rate, you are here, and I will say, welcome to the show. I have a tidbit of news for you, James. Rabbi Yosef Mizrahi takes Bitcoin now. Well, I have said just recently, because you were probably smoking a fucking bowl of super indica or having an edible or whatever, an edible experience or whatever the fuck. Every dollar that you can trade for Bitcoin, and when I say you, I don't mean you specifically. I mean you, the Gentile, you, the non-Jewish person. Every dollar that you can turn into Bitcoin, you can keep out of the hands. You can keep away. It's a source of wealth and power. You can deny your enemies forever. Now, I'm not saying Judas Fleischheimer is a Zionist. I don't think he is. I don't think he supports what's happening in Gaza right now or anything that's happening over there. I don't think he's a violent guy. I think he's a nice kid who smokes too much weed and lives in the fucking mansion in fucking LA. You're in a zoo. You're in a zoo. What the fuck are you doing in a zoo right now? I don't know. But you're in the zoo. Judas Fleischheimer, I don't know what's going on with you, bro, sometimes. But my point is, I don't think you're an evil person. I don't think you support the actions of evil people. However, it's important for every Gentile, for every non-Jew to hear me when I tell you that every Satoshi, every 10th, 100th, 1,000th of a Bitcoin that you can keep for yourself, that you can deny to the small hats, is a fucking victory that I cannot express how important that is. This is critical. This is critical to the future of all human freedom. Judas Fleischheimer, never call a J your bro. No, I know you're not really my bro. Trust me. Dude, I'm Greek. We are literally whatever the fucking antipoles. We are the opposite of opposites. I know not to call. You're not really a bro. You're a pro marijuana guy. I'm an anti-marijuana guy. It's a bunch of different things. What I'm saying is that you, I don't think, are a morally reprehensible individual. You've been around these circles for years and years and years, and insofar as I can tell, from what I can tell from social media, your heart is always in the right place. And I think I would say that you are a decent human being. That is what I would say to you, Mr. Flychai. I can listen to people I disagree with. Indeed. So too can I. What you consider a great moral victory, like I can listen to people I disagree with. I have been forced to listen to people I disagree with every fucking day of my life. Not only have I been forced to listen to you or people with your worldview, a worldview similar to yours, but I am not only am I not given a platform to push back, but if I dare push back, I will be made starving and homeless. And so, what, again, this is you. This is a little bit of a Semitic problem. This is a little bit of a Jewish problem. You think if you walk across the street by yourself, you have achieved the same level of exploration as fucking Ferdinand Magellan. No, you just walked across the fucking street without somebody holding your hand. You don't have you're distorted and don't have a good sense of proportion. That, however, like I say, Mr. Judas Flychild, welcome to the show. I think you're a decent guy, all things considered. All things considered, and I don't. I'm not going to hit you with the band hammer or do anything silly like that. Do anything like that. But what do we got to do? We're coming up on 56 minutes. 56 minutes. Here's a bit of 10 seconds, short video from some show that I never watched on Netflix. But people in these anti-Semitic, racist, homophobic circles like to be all sorts of conspiratorial and talk about predictive programming. Predictive programming? Well, here's a bit of predictive programming for you.
Problem here is hard cash is fading rapidly. That's just the way of the world right now. And Bitcoin is spreading. And if Bitcoin takes over, we are all in a world of hell.
We are all in a world of hurt. Listen, give me 2 minutes and I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. Anyway, here's the thing. Jews are a Hegelian dialectic that Billy Cooper spoke of. William Cooper whatever. That's true. And the way to end that is to end their ability to steal value from others, right? The whole idea of what Ben Shapiro was saying, like, if you think you can create value from 18 to 65 and then relax, you're insane. When Ben Shapiro says that, when Nikki Haley says that, well, we have to realize that raising the Social Security age is going to be higher, or you're not going to have Social Security. Like, the boomers will have Social Security, but my generation, Gen X, maybe. And putting your faith in a bureaucracy and a governmental structure that is based on theft, right? That is based on fractional reserve banking, pardon me, fractional reserve banking and 2% inflation, which is never just 2%. Understanding that putting your faith in the virtue of others is a guaranteed recipe for disaster, your personal disaster. That's a hard lesson to get across to people. It's such a hard lesson to get across to people. And the people in charge of shit, the people that run things know this. That's why they deliver you Donald Trump, or they deliver you Joe Biden, or whatever. Like, Joe Biden is like literally a pale imitation of Barack Obama, because he's vaguely connected to the magical Negro, Barack Obama. They will feed you whatever it is, you need in order for you to give them more than they are providing to you. That's just the way it is. And you think to yourself, I don't want to live this way. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want my tax dollars fucking genociding brown people I never met, who were no threat to America. I don't want that. Like, I don't want that. Listen to me. I'm a fucking American patriot. I am a fucking American patriot to the fucking core. And should you threaten my nation or the Constitution or our way of life, there is not one thing I would not do to you. There is not one violence I would not visit upon you. However, since the US dollar became the Federal Reserve note in 1914, we've been killing people that pose no threat to the United States. We have been, and I mean killing millions and millions of people. And some of our people have died as well. Tons of fucking well-meaning, patriotic, fucking stars in their eyes, fucking farm boys, and not all farm boys. Some of them were from urban centers, New York, Chicago, LA, who thought, oh, if I just grasp onto this fucking worldview, then I can make the world a better place and make America a better place. But all you're doing is killing for fucking Wall Street. And you need to have a clear understanding of why we're doing what we're doing. And I tell you, I fucking swear to fucking God that I don't fucking believe it, that I would stack you like fucking firewood if you were an enemy of the Constitution. If that was legally permissible. It's not legally permissible. It's not legally permissible, and I don't suggest you do it. But would that we were in a legal environment where that possible? I would stack fucking bodies like fucking cordwood. I would stack you like fucking firewood. Should you threaten the nation that I was born and raised in, I love, and the only place that I call home. However, we don't live in that fucking world, right? We live in a world of all sorts of insane distortions and fucking lies and endless fucking gaslighting from every fucking direction. And when the Candace Owens and the other Shabos decide, oh, I don't want to carry water the fucking Zionist anymore, and they get shut off, guess what they're going to be replaced with? They're going to be replaced with AI. What's going on in the chat? Judas Lachai, why does Rabbi Mizrahi take Bitcoin? How does he, as a religious person, benefit from Bitcoin? I'm religious, so I want to know, and I want to ask the Bitcoin expert. Okay. My guess, and I'm going. It's difficult for me to put myself in the mind of a rabbi, but I will. This is what I will say. Rabbi Mizrahi has recognized that this Bitcoin thing, has value, and he wants as much of that as he can get, okay, for himself, and theoretically for his followers. There's at Judas Lachai, you should know this. If you're really, really, what's his name? What's the name? What the fuck is what's the name of the part of Judaism? You're fucking. I'm fucking drunk. I can't remember it. Your sect of Judaism. What's it called? You're called. Oh, for fuck's sake! How can I fucking tell? Oh, what is the name of you guys? Tell me what's the name of your sect of Judaism. Not Sephardim, not Yazidi, not Sephardim, not Mizrahi, not Ashkenazi. It's I'm completely fucking blanking out. Rabbi Menachem Shmirhan of the, what the fuck is their name? How can I forget their name? Oh my God, it's killing me. It's fucking killing me. Whatever. The Talmudic concept that it is your responsibility as a Jew. It is your responsibility as a Jew to injure, to weaken, to kill the Gentile who worships a different God than you, because in the afterlife, Yahweh struggles, he fights with the lesser God of the Gentiles, right? Judas Lachai, I'm not Hasidic, I'm Sephardic. It's Sephardic. Okay, well, I don't know. Chabad, that's it. Chabad Lubavitch. How the fuck could I have forgotten that? Good Lord. It's one of those things, it's right in front of your face, and you're like, why can't I fucking say that? Why is my mind blank? Chabad Lubavitch. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Judas Lachai. The based Persian mission guide. But the concept that in order to aid our God in the world of ether, in the afterlife, in this non-physical world, we must injure those who do not believe in our God. The Greeks, the Romans, the Catholics, the whatever, the Muslims. If we could injure, reduce their prosperity, if we can depress them emotionally, if we can manipulate them downwards, what it does is increases the power of our God, Yahweh. We're not allowed to say his name, but whatever. It increases the power of our God and increases the likelihood that whatever fucking tikkun olam fucking scheme we're working on this week will happen, right? And this is what justifies the behavior of the small hats against the Gentiles everywhere, right? And what Bitcoin presents as a threat to this group who's understood that a few, a king or a president or whatever, a small group of Gentiles controls the larger group of Gentiles. And if we just control the fortune of the president, of the king, of the parliament, or the fucking Senate or the Congress or whatever, if we just control the fortunes of them, we control all of the goy. And the way the Jews do this is not by telling the truth, not by being honest, saying, listen, I'm Jewish, you're not Jewish, and you were born to be my slave forever. And yeah, so you know what? Just fucking be happy I'm letting you breathe. That's not going to work real well. So what they say is that, oh, we're the victims, and we've always been the victims. It's not our fault. It's crazy people all over. Here's a bag of money, and here's a list of laws that we would like passed in your country. And somebody goes, "What, a bag of money? Okay, I'll take it." And then they pass the fucking laws, and those laws always make the larger portion of the Gentiles suffer. We're going to reduce your ability to make a living. We're going to make it through inflation. We're going to make it harder. You have to work longer and harder to get less. And by the way, this aspect of your culture that we don't like, we're going to call it hateful. And this aspect of your culture that we don't like, we're going to call it anti-Semitic. And this aspect of your culture that we don't like, we're going to call it racist. And that not only are we going to extract all of the value from you to us, but we will alter the very patterns and rhythms under which you live. Bitcoin fixes this, because way back when, at least to William the Conqueror, and possibly as far back as the Romans and the Greeks, although the evidence is not so good back then, but certainly from William the Conqueror, 1000 AD, a small group of wealthy Jews have figured out how to control the politics of the Gentile world, sometimes to a greater and sometimes to a lesser degree. But they figured this out, and the control mechanism is money. It's not ideology, it's not spirituality, it is money, okay? But this type, oops, oh, fuck. Oh shit, I broke the plastic cap. This type of money, they can't steal from you. They can't tax it away from you. And they can't inflate away from you. And this is beyond their reach, beyond their power. And that's why you, as a Gentile, every shitty fucking Federal Reserve note, every green piece of paper, every slavery coupon that you are given in exchange for your labor, every slavery coupon that you trade for Bitcoin, keeps value, keeps life force out of their fucking hands. Judas Lloyd Chai, I hope the Shabbos Goy in the post-Messianic world are as entertaining as you. Yeah, well, there ain't going to be no Messianic world. Guess what, kids? There ain't going to be no Messianic world. That just isn't going to happen. Here's the reality that Judith Floyd Chai and the people from his economic class haven't quite grasped yet. They think they're super smart. They think they understand everything, or they think they have a grasp of everything, because they're currently, a lot of material prosperity flows to them from people who are too ignorant to stop it. But this is from BlackRock, Robert Michnick, who, by the way, pardon me, Michnick is a Jewish name. What's he saying? Bitcoin is overwhelmingly the #1 priority for clients. So rich Jews, really rich Jews, have fucking figured this thing out. You need a property. Federico Vasconcelos, welcome to the show, sir. You know, I beat up on you like 3 weeks ago, right? I don't know if you know that or not. I have to go back and look a few shows. A few shows back, you might not be as joyous joining the party as you think. But what we have on BlackRock, the largest asset manager on the planet Earth, BlackRock's Robert Mitchnick's Bitcoin is the number one, the overwhelmingly priority, number one priority for its clients. Rich Jews who have a fucking brain in their head know that Bitcoin is the future that squatters can't squat on, the state cannot take from you, right? Well, the Jews like, oh my God. Oh, after we've vampirically sucked the fucking blood of Germany, the German government turned against us. After we vampirically sucked the blood of Zimbabwe, Uganda, America, whatever, the other 109 states. We need a property that they can't steal from us. Well, some Jews, like 4 of them, have figured that out, right? And what I'm telling the Gentiles is grab as much Bitcoin as you can and hold it so that they don't get it. And this will quicken the freedom of the human race. This will absolutely quicken human freedom and human flourishing. Federico Vasconcelos, I can take a punch. It was hilarious. Yes, indeed, sir. I intend oftentimes, I coat my fist with sugar. And the reason for that is 1, because I can, and 2, because it has value to others. It has value to others watching. You know what I mean? I do think of playing to the audience, right? I do think of playing to the crowd. Who is the crowd? Who is the audience? Is it the 14 people that are going to watch this in the next week? The 4 people who are going to click like? Is it that, or am I playing to a wider crowd? Am I trying to make a wider point? And well, it is probably fairly egotistical for me to say this. I am playing to a wider crowd. I think beyond this week, this month, etc., etc. What if someone 20 years from now saw this? What if someone 50 years from now saw this and they thought, did this guy fucking know, or was he just some drunken jerk who's talking shit, right? And where for me, for my psychology, for my ego, I want to be able to provably say that logically I knew what the fuck I was talking about, not just in this moment, but in the future. And there's still things, there are always things that we hold back, there are always things we don't say. And yeah, bit by bit over the coming months and maybe years, I will mention ideas that I have that are, I still consider too outrageous and too impractical at this point. It isn't that I don't want to say it, but it's just, it wouldn't be useful. You have to think of what can I do that's useful and works. And part of that is me appealing to your self-interest, right? Showing you that your dollar is going down, Bitcoin is going up, real estate is too expensive, and the stock market is too risky over time. And that what you ought to do, because you can do it, not just for yourself, but for your posterity, is step by step acquire more and more of this limited asset that will become more and more valuable as time goes on. 14 years ago, Bitcoin was worth 30 cents. Today, March 25th, 2024, Bitcoin is worth $70,000. Try, if you can, to project your mind forward 10 years, 15 years, and think, well, if I had this much Bitcoin today, how much would it be worth in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? That's what I want to get across to you. And if you think that the people who currently run the world are not the people who should be running the world, or that they're doing a bad job of it, or you don't like the direction it's going in, and you'd like to go in a different direction, understand that money or value exchanged is critical for civilization. It is uncivilized to steal from other people as a settler colonialist, as the Israelis, as American Jews are doing currently in Gaza, right? And other Jews around the world are doing currently in Gaza. So if you would be civilized, if you would exchange value for value, I do a valuable service, I provide a valuable good, and you provide for me in return something of value, not stealing. I've done the work to create this value. You've done the work to create this value, and let us exchange freely, right? Not forced, not coerced, freely entering into transactions. If you believe that this is the basis of a civilization that will allow the ideas, you think, oh, I want a king. I want a king named Adolf Hitler. No, I don't want. I want a king named King Charles. No, I want the guy who's Prince Charles. I want him promoted to King Charles. Oh, you see that South American dude named fucking whatever fucking, who was the guy who took over Chile? I can't even fucking remember his name. I want him to be the boss. I want what the fuck was the guy from Spain? Federico Franco. I want Franco to be. I don't give a fucking shit. I want Mussolini. I don't give a fucking shit. Like, there needs to be an exchange of value, a free exchange of value to create a fucking Mussolini or whoever, right? I want to fucking burn the Constitution, just torch that, and we go right back to monarchy. Well, even monarchy needs to exchange value, right? Somebody has to farm the fucking fields. Somebody has to pay the king his tribute. Somebody's got to do that, and you could be part of that, okay? Now, that isn't going to happen in the current system, which is controlled by people with small hats who don't eat fucking, who go to church on Saturday and don't eat bacon or fucking pork, and decide that the measuring stick, the value of your house, your stock, your labor, whatever, constantly varies. Understand that the longer you live in that system, the more you're losing. The quicker you leave that system, and you don't have to leave it all at once, but you can step by step leave that system, you will be closer to creating what it is you think you want to see. Anyway, what the fuck? I like, it's an hour and a half. An hour and a half. Judas Lightchild, I want a king named Menachem Mendel Schneerson. I will say to you, good luck, sir. From my point of view, like, listen, in the real world, I don't know what you think of yourself. Like, you think of yourself as a unicorn or a goldfish. You were born a boy, but you're really a girl. I don't know. You're a trans. Sometimes you're a girl. Sometimes you're a boy. You're a transgender. You're gender fluid. I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know, and I cannot know what's in your fucking head, right? But mostly, I don't really give a shit. It's just that I am not going to be compelled to believe your bullshit, right? You can think I'm the fucking heavyweight champion boxer of the world, but that's not you. That's a guy named fucking Tyson Fury. You can think, oh, I'm the fucking UFC middleweight champion in mixed martial arts, but that's not you. That's Dustin Poirier. You can think whatever the fuck you want. Like, you can have whatever bright, elaborate fantasy you want in your head, right? But I don't have to believe that shit. If you have dark skin and you go, oh, I done been oppressed for 400 years. I've been a slave, and you evil whiteys but done been stealing from me. I don't care what spirit chucker delusions you have. I don't give a shit what Jewish delusions you have. I don't give a fuck what delusions you have. I am under no obligation to participate in your fantasy, right? Right now, currently, because we're not there yet, Bitcoin's not strong enough to take over the world economy, but we will be, right? We will be, right? I have to, because I get paid in dollars. I buy my groceries in dollars, gasoline, rent, blah, 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 in dollars. I'm forced to do that. But the very fucking minute that I don't have to do that, I'm not going to do that. The very minute I do not have to live my life according to the value of Jewish issued slavery coupons, I'm going to stop. And the more over the past couple of years, and I've shown this with screenshots. Oh, I bought Bitcoin here, I bought Bitcoin here. I didn't always show every screenshot of every fucking thing I ever bought or every time I ever bought. But as I step further and further away from the economic system that the people who think I was born to be their slave, as I step further and further away from that, I get closer and closer to freedom. And that is what that was the life I was intended to live. I was not born to be anyone's fucking slave. With that, I'm gonna fucking I gotta shut this down. We gotta shut it down. We did, Jesus Christ, we did all kind of videos, screenshots, and what did we not do? What did we fail in anything? No. This one. Oh, the gold bugs. I gotta fucking show this. South American gold miner Nilam Resources files for letter of intent to acquire 24,800 Bitcoin. Gold bugs blown the fuck out. Gold bugs, BTFO. So if you think, no, physical gold, this, that, and the other, listen to me. These people who run a gold mine want Bitcoin. You, if you had 2 living brain cells in your head, would be working every day to acquire more Bitcoin, if for no other fucking reason than to deny it to the Jews. All right, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you for showing up. Thank you for stopping by. And I'm going to play the outro music, and I'll see you again next week. No, it's too. What? Uh, uh, uh.